Hi everyone, it's me, Hopefully Skinny, and I'm back with my bestie, my sister, Lisa. So this is my month 14 update. So we'll get into the numbers and then we'll do something a little different. So my highest recorded weight was 557 pounds. My surgery weight was 366 on July 24th, 2014, and today I weighed in at 226. So what we're doing differently is that we wrote down questions to ask each other, kind of, and we have to read them out loud and then answer them.
So that we don't end up spending 20 minutes talking about God knows what.
Right, because we did a 23-minute video before, which is too long to post. So we're trying something different. So your question is, if you become stuck at your current weight, would you be truly happy or would you pursue the ruin why? Wow, that's a really good question. Right now I feel totally content with my weight and I wouldn't pursue the ruin why, though I know my surgeon would want me to. And the reason why is that I feel the Roux-en-Y is a really risky surgery after looking into it and comparing people's issues with the Roux-en-Y and people with issues with the VSG. And the VSG has fewer complications. And the goal for me to have the surgery was to become mobile and healthier and active and be more of a participant in my life versus a bystander. And I feel that I've accomplished that goal. I do not believe that you have to be a particular size to be healthy. So I think I am really healthy even at my weight at 26. I'm still healthy and active, and I don't see anything wrong with my health at the moment. So the only reason why I would consider the Roux-en-Y was if I still had major health problems.
Awesome.
So
I was hoping that would help some people who are watching who are maybe considering both or the follow-up or whatnot.
Right.
Okay, my turn. How has dating changed, good and bad? You mean your dating or my dating?
Just no, how has dating changed me, good and bad? Because we do talk about that a lot.
Oh.
And I thought your perception on some things is kind of interesting.
I don't think that dating has changed you. I think that your approach to dating has changed as you've changed, because I think the changes are entirely with you. And I wouldn't even say that it's something. Your insecurity before was worn on your sleeve. You were heavy, you were closed off, you didn't want people to see you, you didn't want people to touch you. And so as a result, you didn't meet guys, you didn't put yourself in a situation to meet guys. But it read itself as insecure. Now, everything about you screams, I am secure, look at me, pay attention to me, see me, notice me. Like, I'm here, and I'm no longer invisible. And it's not insecure, but then the choices that you're making with regard to the men that you're choosing to date is more in line with something that would say you don't feel that you're worth the fantastic guy that I know you're worth having in your life. And you're choosing men that may not necessarily be to your standards. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So your insecurity is more of an internal thing than it was before, whereas before it was external and you could see it.
Well, I think with dating before is that I felt that I would get treated very badly. And so I protected myself from that. And I think that part of me doesn't feel that I should get treated that badly, but I still expect it.
Now it's, well, maybe it's also, I think you seem to think that losing the weight means that guys will treat you better and be more respectful.
Some of them do.
Some of them do, but by and large, people will treat you the way that you demand to be treated. And if you allow them to get away with certain behaviors, they will continue the behaviors until you tell them to stop, or until it becomes no longer possible for them to continue the behavior. So I think depending on your weight to be the marker for how someone treats you isn't going to get you that satisfaction or get you that outcome that you're looking for. But It's also, like we were saying, we were talking about it before, it's a learning process. And when you pulled back from the dating world for so long and you kind of kept it at bay, you weren't going through that process when all the rest of us were, and we were doing all the stupid things that we were doing and making all of our mistakes, and you got to watch from the outside as we were complete idiots, you know, and laugh at us. But now,
Never laugh.
oh yes, you did. But now you're going through that, and you're, like I was telling you before, you're going through it much more quickly, much more intensely than the rest of us did. Like, you're learning things that took me 10 years to learn, and you're doing it in a month. You know, so each time you're dating, you're getting a life, like an entire decade of knowledge from that relationship. And I am watching you improve with each one, like improve the decisions you're making, your choices for a guy. Um, so it's just a matter of time. But you know, it's as your best friend, I am so looking forward to that time when you finally completely identify with who you are, and you start demanding that self-worth. You start demanding people treat you the way what you're worth, and you finally find that guy that knows you and loves you and totally gets you and just thinks that you poop rainbows. And it'll be so exciting to finally see that, because then I'll know that you're finally at a place where you're completely happy.
Well, I am for the most part happy. I think that the thing that I'm struggling the most with is dating, is my relation with men, and just expected behavior, and even to some extent my behavior. And for instance, we talked about this before, where I shared a instance of one of my last dating experiences that didn't go so well, and the gentleman actually hurt my feelings. And when he apologized for it, I said that I was more upset that he apologized for it than the actual act of what he did. And I said it was because I felt like in that moment I realized that he never really thought of me as a human,
Right.
until that moment when he realized that he'd done something that was really, really wrong. And instead of me saying, "You're right," I automatically said to him, was like, "Oh, it's okay. Don't worry about my feelings."
Yeah, and that's what I've been trying to coach you to
And
stop doing, and to make sure that you own your feelings and your right to be treated with full respect.
and that's a pattern that I'm seeing, is that every time something happens and my feelings get engaged and they get hurt, or someone has done something wrong to me, I automatically try to protect their feelings before I protect my own. And I don't know why I do that. And I know I shouldn't. I know my feelings are valuable, but it's like it doesn't hit me with what I've done until the opportunity of saying, you know what you did was wrong. You know.
Well, okay, one thing that all of us heavy women have in common is control. And we are hungry for control of something in our lives. And when someone hurts us, the first thing we want to do is take control away from them, especially being who we are. And when they hurt us, we feel, even though it's not right, we feel that by saying, "You didn't hurt my feelings," takes away their ability to hurt us. So we take the control back from them.
Yeah.
But all we're doing is giving them the control, because we're allowing them to hurt our feelings, because we're not being honest, because our feelings are hurt. Whether we tell them that or not, it's a farce that we're putting up.
Well, I can relate to that, because when the gentleman said that, and he led me on saying that he eventually wanted to, pursue some type of relationship with me, and I said, and when he said at the end that he didn't, I was like, that's okay, and he's like, well, okay. And I was like, because you don't want me doesn't mean that I don't have other guys that do.
Right.
And he didn't like hearing that. I could tell that hurt his feelings, to think that I already had other people lined up.
So you hurt his feelings as a repercussion for hurting yours.
Right.
Yeah. Did that work for you? In honesty?
I felt, I'm not sure. I think I said that in a way to let him know that I wasn't like hung up on him, which I wasn't, but it was my way of saying, hey, look, I'm not going to stalk you. I'm not going to chase you. That you're not the only person out there that I can date, or that's interested. And that I wasn't going to waste my time. And I know that bothered him for me, so he actually thought that I was all bitchiggity over him, because he was very good looking.
So do you think you walked away from that situation getting everything you needed out of it by saying that?
No, what I said was to protect myself.
Okay. Yeah, it's hard, and I know, the thing is it's easy to attribute what you're going through to weight loss and to new circumstances and new experiences, but at the end of the day, all of us go through that, and we make those little decisions every single day, and we make the decision to either be truthful with ourselves and real with ourselves and honest with ourselves, or to quickly try to protect ourselves, which is our natural instinct.
I think I quickly try to protect myself, which in the end makes me walk away feeling worse.
Right.
Because I never get my say.
Yeah.
I never say, look, this isn't okay, or I never ask the questions that need to be asked. And so at the end, I'm just wandering around confused and unanswered questions and just this, like, nowhere for any of this, upset to go, this negative emotion to go, because because I can't share it with any of them, because I don't know if I can. I think that's what it comes down to, is I don't know if I can't honestly share with any of these guys.
You mean if you should, or if you're actually able to do it yourself?
If I'm able, like emotionally able to. Because there's parts of me that say, no, I should. Like, this isn't okay. I should be able to express myself.
Mm-hmm.
I should be able to communicate this with them. But there's always that one thing that stops me. Instead, I do things half-assed.
You think it's because you're afraid that they won't like you after you say that? And that you can at least retain some modicum of their affection if they don't think they have an emotional responsibility to you?
Maybe, or maybe I just don't feel that deep down inside, I don't feel that I'm deserving of their emotional respect.
So that being said, since I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and take this time to get over my soapbox. For everybody out there, man, woman, thin, heavy, in between, combination, I don't care. Whatever you are, whoever you are, you deserve the same amount of respect that anybody else does. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter how much money you have. You are still deserving of respect and human decency. And I know that that is something that a lot of us heavy women deal with, because we're told in this society that your worth is based on your body. Your worth is based on the number that your scale shows you, or the number that the tag on your clothing shows you, and that determines your worth. And that is bullshit. And you are a human being, and there's something called common human decency. And there is absolutely no reason why you shouldn't feel free to tell a person who's mistreating you that they are mistreating you. So I just want to urge all of you guys out there, if you're watching this video, to stop and really examine the situation you're in, a relationship that you're in, or relationships, depending on how many people you're seeing, and really
Because you could be like me.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I don't judge. So really look at your situation and evaluate how you're being treated, and really think about whether or not you're allowing a lot of stuff to go by and why you're doing that, because you're human and you deserve love.
Well, the other thing is that surgery doesn't fix everything.
It does not.
The insecurities that you had when you had surgery, the deep insecurities, we're not talking about the insecurity, oh, I'm fat. We're talking about the really deep self-worth insecurities that kind of help contribute to your weight are still there. They're not going to go away. And if you don't deal with those on an ongoing basis, then you're only going to gain the weight back. And for me, it's the acknowledging and accepting of emotions, and that I have the right to express them to other people that I'm battling. I have a very, very hard time with that, where before, when I had surgery, I acknowledged my feelings, but it was different. It was more like a surface thing, where if I got mad, I'd say what I got mad over, and then I was done. Now I feel the emotions are a little bit deeper. I feel things a little bit deeper because I have to. I don't have that protective wall that absorbing the feelings before it gets to the center of me. And so it goes straight towards me right away, and my feelings get hurt so much easier. And I have a hard time showing it still.
I totally understand, and I agree with that. And I think it's that protective mechanism, and all it does is hurt us in the end.
Okay, so we should sign off and say goodbye. So I want to remind everyone that weight loss is not about a size or a number on the scale. It's about getting healthy and being healthy. And remember, if something sounds too good to be true, it is. So make sure that you speak to your doctor or healthcare professional before starting any exercise routine or diet plan. So I hope the other side of the surgery is as bright for you as it has been for me. Until next time, bye.